There are 40 badges in NBA 2K26, and not all of them are equal. Some are great, and some are trash. And prioritizing some of these badges can make or break your build. What I'm doing in today's video is taking all 40 and putting them in a tier list from worst to best. But here's the thing, this isn't just my opinion. I'm taking info from the best testing channels. I'm taking opinions from some of the best build creators, looking at the builds from the best players in the world, and then I'm using my own data and experience to form the most accurate tier list possible. And this is what we got. Que pasa to the pack? It is Pack here. If you like NBA 2K26 help and content, please join the pack and subscribe. Let's get it started. There are 6 tiers in our list, from F all the way to S. I will go over what every single tier means, and reminder, not all of you are the same player. Some of you might be red plates, some of you might be brand new to the game. This is a tier list that keeps everybody in mind. Let's start with the first tier. This is F tier. This tier is made up of badges that either do not work at all or are basically useless. First up is Mini Marksman. The issue with Mini Marksman is that Deadeye already exists and it's a way more important badge. There's only certain point guards that even need it because they're shorter, and if you're a good point guard, you know not to shoot over a contesting big regardless. The next badge is Glove. This badge doesn't work. Now, it was way worse pre-patch, but it's still just not that important. Traditional plucks are so rare in this game. The most common steals you're getting on ball are bump steals, and that has nothing to do with glove and more to do with your attributes. And finally, the worst badge in the game, Hook Specialist. The badge does not work. People are not post hooking this year. I have seen one post hook go in. Most people aren't even post scorers in the first place, and the guys that do use post hooks aren't making them. So unless you have it on Legend, it's an irrelevant badge. Wait, we are doing a giveaway. If you want to win 75,000 VC, I am picking one lucky winner this Friday. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and comment done, and I'll pick one lucky winner every Friday to give 75,000 VC. Let's get back to the video. The next tier is D tier. This tier is made up of badges that do work, but they do so little that they're basically also unimportant, and I would never max +1 or 2 any of these badges. First up is Physical Finisher. It's not like this badge is completely useless. You kind of have to view this badge like a bailout badge. There are times that you're gonna have a layup on accident that you didn't want to take, and it's contested and you can green it. Most of the times though, you know not to go for layups in those situations and you're trying to dunk it, or you just don't go for it at all. But the rare moment that you accidentally try to take a lay in traffic and you might be able to green it is like the only reason you would ever want it. The only time I see people using it is against smaller defenders. The other badge is Dimer. I know that people love Dimer. The issue is no one misses an NBA 2K26. So if your teammate's wide open in the corner and you pass it to him, Dimer's not going to do anything there. They should just make the shot. Like, for whatever reason, if the guy in your corner is not a good shooter or has really low shooting stats, I can maybe see Dimer being useful. And I understand it's a tier 2 badge for most people, but to be honest, it doesn't give anything to anybody because everyone can shoot anyways. The next one is Post Lockdown. Again, there are so little post scores in NBA 2K. There's already badges to stop people trying to score under the basket. The only time I see this useful is when people are trying to do fadeaways. That's really it. Strong Handle. They have nerfed strength so hard in NBA 2K26. I rarely ever see strong handle animations in the first place. In terms of slashing, Lightning Launch is way more important. The animations you have for dunking are way more important. Strong handle as of right now kind of brings nothing, and I wouldn't be surprised that later in the year this badge is an F tier. And finally, Layup Mixmaster. I've seen maybe one fancy layup every other week, and even if you are doing crazy layups, you probably should have been able to just dunk the ball anyways. Unless you're somebody that has really high layups and you only try to finish layups, I don't see why you would want this. We are on C tier. Every single badge here is a viable badge, but they are kind of niche and only specific people need them. Not everybody needs these badges. First up is Posterizer. Let's all calm down. This is the best badge in C tier, but Posterizer is worse than it's ever been in any 2K in history. There's reports that there's almost no difference in green window sizes based off the tier of the badge. Getting posters are way more animation based rather than badge based. Plus, with the inconsistent green window always jumping up and down, and it's not really fixing that problem. It's an important badge for people that dunk. Like, I slash a lot, so like it helps helps me, but I would never focus on getting it extremely high. Another badge is Off-Ball Pest. It's great for bumping when people are trying to do backdoor cuts. It's a tier 2 badge. That's why a lot of people usually put it on their max plus 1 or 2, but that's really all it provides. Pick Dodger this year. Everybody is hiding behind screens this year and trying to crab you. And on top of that, because people are greening yellow contests this year, having it at all, if you're a lock, is kind of useful. And I personally have seen a huge difference once you get into Hall of Fame. It's not a bad badge, but again, there's only so many players that even need it. A movable enforcer. This is probably one of the most controversial badges this year. Some people think that it is super necessary for locks to stop blow buys. Other people think it's trash. According to 2K Toots, it helps stop blow buys. My issue is that personally, I've had it on Legend, Hall of Fame, Gold, Silver, Bronze. I don't see a difference in any of them. And most other players and creators kind of agree that it does almost nothing. This is a tricky one, but I wouldn't be surprised if this badge also ends up in D or F tier if I made this video again in 3 months. Next up, we have Post Up Poets. Again, post scorers aren't super common, but there are still centers that are doing post spins, and even more importantly is the small guards. So there's some small guards that have high strength and are doing post spins and getting easy buckets off that. I've had that happen to me a couple times. It's kind of nasty, but that's the only time I'm ever seeing it. Another niche situation, but post fade phenom is actually not that bad. There's a lot of times this year where out of nowhere, last second, the big will just do a fadeaway and surprises me and greens it. It's honestly super easy to green. The animations are kind of crazy and they can make you go kind of far. They're hard to contest. Honestly, not a bad badge. Pain Prodigy also is a little underrated. If you go up with the ball and you have a mismatch on you under the basket, it does help you finish. If you're a big, I know everyone's obsessed with standing dunks. Honestly, close shots under the basket are also going in. It's not the worst badge. Unpluckable. The issue with this badge, because usually it's a great badge, is that glove doesn't work, but people are still getting strips when guards have low stamina. And on top of that, the bump steals. This does help calm that down. But if you are the point guard this year, you should still be able to take care of it. And if you really are the point guard that's spamming dribbles, you already have a high enough ball handle that you're going to have this badge regardless. This isn't a badge that I'm stressing on max plus 1 or 2ing ever. And the last badge is Post Powerhouse. This is the mismatch badge. If you're big and for whatever reason you have a smaller defender on you, you can back him down. Not many people are ever willing to do it. I almost thought about putting this badge in D tier, but it is useful. Like, it does work. It's just how often are people backing down people and dunking on them real quick? It doesn't happen too often this year. Now we are on B tier. All these badges are ones that you're starting to think about for your max plus 1s and 2s. The best badge in B is Set Shot Specialist. If this was any other 2K, Set Shot would be an automatic S tier. The issue this year is that nobody is missing. It is so easy to shoot that it barely matters. I personally shoot the exact same 3-point field goal percentage at 75% when I had this on Silver and when I had it on Legend. It does feel like you get more consistent shots, but again, if you're wide open, you shouldn't be missing. The reason why it's here is that if you're a big and you have your set shot on Bronze and you max plus 2 it to Gold, yes, this is kind of useful. Besides that, I don't see why you would ever want to get it higher than what you have it. Up next is Challenger. I think this is a slept on badge, and I honestly think it could go up to A. Like I said, no one misses in NBA 2K26. So this badge helps you force people to miss. If you're a shorter guard and you have to contest a big, or you have to close out last second, or if you're trying to stop fadeaways, or you're trying to fight through screens and stopping the guard from shooting behind screens, you need Challenger kind of high. There are many times where I had my Challenger on Bronze or Silver and I got no contest, and I switched to Hall of Fame Legend and I was getting contests. It's kind of a game-winning badge if you know how to play defense good enough. People this year are making shots with yellow contests, especially Zen users, right? Getting Challenger high enough can make you get red contests, and that will guarantee you stops. On-ball menace this year, although the badge isn't incredible, getting that bump animation when you're guarding someone is so important, and you basically can't without this badge. Again, I don't deny that this badge is inconsistent. There's not big differences between Legend and like Gold, but when you get that bump, it is always a blessing. You need the badge. Box Out Beast, no one's gonna be surprised seeing it here. This badge is actually great for everyone, not just bigs in my opinion. You do not want to waste a great defensive stop because you got wormed by the guy that was trying to out rebound you. I actually argue that getting a box out and getting in position and greening the rebound is more important than rebound chaser, but that's also just my personal opinion. Regardless, everybody agrees Box Out Beast is always a good badge. Break Starter is an incredible badge. It's usually a tier 2 badge. Getting it on Gold guarantees safe catches on transition, and that's good for 3s, that's good for 5s. If you are the big, you do need this badge kind of high. Rise Up is another badge that week 1, this badge was honestly S tier after the nerfs. Now it's in B tier. tier, but even though the 7-4s were nerfed, you are still getting standing dunks consistently if you were a big player under the basket. It's still kind of a nasty badge. Man, I've been all over the place with this badge. I almost considered it an S. I almost considered it in C. My issue with this badge is that if you have deep bomber takeover, this badge doesn't even matter. But I have played with people that are hitting deep shots consistently without takeover because their limitless is high. And so if you're good enough to use this badge can really make you nasty in the game. Aerial Wizard is better than it's ever been because of putback dunks. It's essentially another rebounding badge this year. There are players that aren't even pressing triangle to rebound. They're just pressing square to get the putback dunk with their Aerial Wizard. It's kind of crazy. Bailout is another crazy badge this year. For the few people that have it, it's cheating. It's so hard to play this game. When you're trying so hard to get one miss, you finally make them shoot a stupid shot and they throw a perfect dot last second to their teammate and get an open three or an open dunk. It's brutal this year. Slippery off ball. Dexing is still huge in NBA 2K, and because this is a tier 2 badge, a lot of people have their slippery off ball on Legend, which I do, and you're just getting wide open threes just by moving around off ball. It's crazy. Versatile Visionary is pretty good this year. Everybody is getting lane steals, and so Versatile Visionary kind of negates that from happening. If you look at some of the best players in the world, a lot of them have this on Hall of Fame and Legend. It's a very good badge. And a badge I never thought would be in gold is Float Game. It's almost not a secret anymore. Some players are realizing that floaters are crazy. You're getting some uncontested animations this year. The LaMelo Ball package is crazy. I'm seeing people with Float Game on Legend and they are cooking people with it. Now we're in A tier. I'd argue all these badges are requirements for most playstyles. Up first, the best badge in A, Interceptor. In a year where nobody is missing, you still need to get a turnover. You know how to make people miss shots? Don't let them shoot in the first place. Getting a lane steal is the easiest way to get a stop this year. Every good player has Interceptor high right now. Paint Patroller. It's still an important badge. Some people think it's kind of trash this year, and then other people have it as the best defensive badge for bigs. I agree with neither of those people. If you are a big, you will still get stops with this badge. Rebound Chaser. If you are not getting rebounds as the big, your team is going to lose. Getting in the right position, getting box out beast, greening your rebound, all that's important. But if the guy next to you has a higher rebound than you, you're probably going to lose that fight. And nothing is worse than having a perfect defensive possession and you get out rebounded last second. Every center will always need this badge. Oh man, Ankle Assassin, my most annoying badge this year, bro. Nothing is more annoying than playing 20 seconds of perfect defense on a guard. There's nothing you could have done. You did nothing wrong, but you just snatched your ankles and it's over. Even on silver, people are taking ankles here and there. It's a crazy badge. Brick Wall. If players are going to be hiding behind screens all game, this will always be a good badge, especially because people can fade away as well off a screen, and then the crabbing and the lack of contests. Brick Wall will always be insane. And one you probably didn't expect, Pogo Stick. Everyone's jumping this year. To get a contest, you can't just put your hand up anymore. You got to jump. So you don't want to jump and then be out of the play. So everybody has a Pogo Stick on Legend right now. Like a lot of the great players you see have Legend Pogo. It's also tier 2 for a lot of players, especially with these Zen users where you need to get a red contest on them. Pogo is really important. And finally, the best badges in the game, S tier. You are making builds specifically with these badges in mind. First up is Shifty Shooter, arguably the best badge in the game. I know that a lot of you are confused because there was a nerf that stopped 3-point fades, and yes, it made 3-point fading a lot harder, but still, the great players are still making fade threes. But forget the 3-point shot. Midi fades are still insane and super easy. If you really know what you're doing with your dribbling, you will get an open fade midi whenever you want. Lightning Launch, again, arguably the best badge in the game. Some of these guys are unguardable. You're not fast enough to catch some of these guys with their Lightning Launch on Legend. It is an insane badge. Handles for days, another one that you could argue best badge in the game. This year, green windows have gotten smaller based off of how much stamina you're using with the ball. So to play good defense, you're just trying to get the people that you're guarding to run out of stamina, essentially. That works for most people, but then there's these point guards that have handles for days on Legend, they're Gatorade boosts, and they are just running around the entire shot clock, doing a fadeaway and hitting the green. This badge is carrying some people right now. I'm gonna say I think this is personally, my opinion, the best badge in the game, Deadeye. So as you guys know, you can hit yellow contests this year, and even some people are hitting red contests. So technically, a good player or Zen users can hit every single shot in the game. So if your Deadeye is high enough, which a lot of these guys do have it at Legend, you're cooked. Honestly, it's so hard. That's why I argue Challenger is so important this year. It's the only badge to at least contest these guys. And finally, maybe a surprise to some of you, High Flying Denier. In my opinion, it's the best defensive badge in the game. And the craziest part is that not only bigs get this badge, guards can get this badge, and guards get it on a tier 2. So I have a 6'4" guard right now with this on gold because I have a max +2 on it, and I'm getting blocked blocks as a 6'4 guard. Paint Patroller is nice, interior defense rating is nice, but getting high flying denier is really the consistent way to get stops this year under the basket. And that is the tier list. What do you guys think? Do you agree or disagree? We're going to learn more throughout the year. So in a couple months from now, I'm going to make a part 2 of this video where I give you guys an update of where the meta is then. If you like this channel, please give it a sub. I'll see you guys next time.